What's going on, guys? My name is Sean.
And my name's JD.
And today we're going to be talking about Child of Light, one of my favourite games from 2014 so far. What do you think?
Very interesting game. Drawed me in. We've been playing about 2 hours.
Indeed. It's out right now on all major platforms, PS3, PS4,
Xbox 360, PS Vita.
Indeed, and of course we played it here today on the
PC.
On Steam, yeah. Came out about 3 months ago at the end of April, so still quite new now. But it's a fantastic game developed by Ubisoft Montreal using the same art engine as Rayman Legends. You got to play that game, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a really fun game.
Indeed, and it looks fantastic. So how much did you get to play of Child of Light so far?
As I said, about 2 hours.
About 2 hours? So this is going to be like a really good solid first impressions video for you. Whereas I've managed to complete the game. It took me about 30 hours, but I was really taking my time with it. I've heard that if you play on casual mode, you can get through it in 10 hours easily. So we wanted to talk about this game because we're RPG fans, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. I'm a fan of old school RPGs like Final Fantasy, you.
Tales of Sea. Really love those games.
Indeed, and we both love Bravely Default, which we thought was one of our other favourite games for this year.
Don't even get me started on that game.
Indeed, yeah. So but we want to talk about Child of Light because it's different. Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah, it's different, but it's different in a good way. In a really, really good way. The first thing I want to talk about is the way it looks. What do you think about the way Child of Light looks?
Amazing art. It looks like it was painted by hand with like watercolours. Also, it has like a sort of layered background, and it looks like similar to Yoshi's Island, I think, where it had layered. Obviously not as good looking as Yoshi's Island, but it has one layer, and then it has the background, and then it has the distance of the distance.
Yeah, it's got a very good sense of depth of perception. You can particularly see that in the forest scenes where you see far off into the trees, and I think it's really effective because it's trying to make the world look mysterious and you don't know where you are. Well, she's a little girl, she's lost, and she's in this deep dark world where she doesn't really know the people who are there. Yeah, so I think the colours used in the game is really effective with it. The game knows exactly when it needs to use light colours to emphasise that it's more relaxed tone, or dark colours when the world is more threatening and scary. What about the design of the characters?
Character design, they all look unique. They don't look like anything you've seen in another game. Like, when have you hardly ever seen a small girl with giant flowing red hair or a jester?
Indeed. And they don't reflect their roles. For example, the jester, who's Bella in the game, she's the healer, who's usually the holy person, not the clown in the game.
Yeah.
Or the fighter in the game is a little girl, as opposed to being maybe a Nathan Drake style burly man with shotguns. Who knows? The character design is really, really good in this game, and especially and also the monsters as well. I think they all look unique. We've got some common ideas like spiders, but you've got some really unique enemies which come later down the line, like a stick dragonfly, which was a weird one. What about the sound? What did you think of that?
It has an amazing soundtrack. The music in it sets the scene for where you are. Like, the boss battles, they sound epic. Like, the way they've included a choir as well, and all the singing and all the instruments put together, it sounds amazing.
Indeed. Yeah, let me touch up on that for a moment. This is game about voice acting.
No.
Not voice acting, but did that bother you?
No, it didn't bother me. With other games, like say I was playing a Tales of game and it doesn't have voice acting, I would struggle to play it because it's such a big story and you need help with the voices of the characters in there, especially to build up the characters with the story. But with this game, it didn't really matter.
I agree. It's a unique thing which isn't really practiced in any other mediums except for video games these days, where you could have a dynamic cast of characters yet you can convey their emotions through the music and the soundtrack which is being played at the time. So you can have threatening music when they're feeling scared or worried, or in this case of Child of Light, we had very epic battle music to show that these are fights of grand proportions, where you are this tiny little person fighting off against creatures which are way bigger than you are. So the music is fantastic, but it's not just the music. It really uses sound effects really well. Well, I think I love the way that when you could be just walking through the forest, you could be hearing the creaking of the branches or the flowing of the wind going through the trees.
Fluttering with your wings.
Absolutely.
Fly.
Indeed, yeah. Speaking of that, we're going to get to that in a minute. But first, shout outs to Cody Pirate, who is a young up-and-coming star who created the soundtrack for this game. And I'm going to put a link in this video, so if you guys like the soundtrack, you want to support her, go buy her album. It's dirt cheap, and hopefully she'll do some more games in the future. What do you think about the gameplay?
The gameplay is great. I especially love the combat system. The fact that you can interrupt enemies as they're casting or preparing to attack. It really makes it more strategizing and having planning your next move instead of just throwing flurries of punches and kicks and sword slashes.
Indeed. I completely agree. The combat is not completely original. You have seen this type of wave pass system in games such as Grandia, which is an old series from PlayStation 1 era. But it's unique to this kind of day and age where it's not quite of an action RPG, but it's not quite as slow as some games, such as maybe the older Final Fantasy games. But as well as battle, the exploring part of the game where you are just out in the field feels really good. What do you think of that?
I love the way that you can, it's not one direct path that you have to travel through. You can go through different pathways, discover treasure along the way.
Because she can fly, can't she?
Yeah, she can fly, so you don't have to just be walking on the ground, jumping over obstacles. You can fly up into like little caves and avoid like thorns and all those things that just add to the little details that make this game so great.
Indeed, the game is built around being able to fly. There are things to do when you're flying, like discovering treasure, hidden items, and it encourages you to do so. And it's not just, say, a thrown-in part of the game where you're just flying down through a narrow corridor to your next point in goal. So, that's really our impressions of Child of Light. One of my favourite games of the year. Yeah, what are yours?
Definitely. Of what I've played so far, it's made a huge impression on me. I would definitely recommend it to any RPG fan looking for a different game to play.
Indeed, I agree. It also has its co-op, kind of a co-op mode, so if you're not into RPGs, maybe you can find a friend to play with it and run through some of the chapters through. It's really enjoyable. Go out and buy it. Thanks for watching.